that got hit with ransomware. They came in, they have 2 facilities here in Michigan. They came in to have both of the printers, the entire rung of paper printed out, thousands of pieces of paper saying that you've been hacked, ransomware. They hacked and deleted their entire database of customers.
Oh my gosh.
All gone. Every single thing is completely gone. Their emails have been completely hacked and wiped out. They can't even get access to their website. So we're really having to go in and fortunately start fresh because this client didn't have any backups prior to this. So there's nothing to be able to restore from. So this right here is costing them just not even the loss of labor, the actual cost of getting this set up, going through this, costing them all over $1 million to get back to where they need to be.
Welcome back to the ROCC Pod. I am John Gay from Jag Podcast Productions, also covering for my co-host Lisa Bibby from Century 21 Northland, who is out on assignment. Flying solo today, and my guest is Shawn Thornton from Smart Biz IT. Welcome to the podcast and welcome to the chamber.
Thank you, John. I'm definitely excited to be here on the podcast here today.
Before we get into the business stuff, we won't talk about the Lions opening game yesterday. We don't need to go there. I know you're a big Lions fan. I do want to ask you about the barbecue, though, as the weather starts to cool off. We're recording this on September 8th. Tell me about the barbecue and the smoking. I know this is a big passion of yours.
Yeah, I've been into barbecuing and smoking here for quite a few years. I have a pretty big setup in my backyard after we redid it. So I got the wife's permission to get a few items back there. But yes, I love smoking, from ribs, brisket, pulled pork, chicken, salmon. I'm even starting to dabble into doing some jerky and things like that now, and even cold smoking some cheeses. So yeah, I love grilling outside. I'll be out there in the wintertime still grilling and smoking, so I absolutely love it.
Okay, I got a follow-up question for you. You said cold smoking cheese. I've never heard of that. Can you walk me through that real quick?
Yeah, something I actually just found out here last year that I'm testing out. So you can get cheese and you got to cold smoke it. So you don't turn on the smoker, but you put like a little flame box in the smoker just to give some of the cheeses like a different smoke flavor. And you have your different wood chips and everything. So you can kind of different flavored smoked cheeses. So I've seen those online and I've tried them out and they taste delicious. So I'm going to be doing that here soon myself.
So you're not cooking it, melting it. You're just adding a little smoke flavor to it. That's fascinating.
Exactly.
You know, I've seen like smoked cheddar everywhere, and now I finally understand what that means now that you're explaining it to me.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I love everything smoked. We even do like our Thanksgiving fully smoked with a smoked turkey, smoked mac and cheese. So yeah, I'm the barbecue king and the smoker king when it comes to that.
Note to self for November, go to Shawn's house. I'm inviting myself over for Thanksgiving.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I love cooking it up, so you're more than welcome.
Oh, I could talk to you about this all day, but let's get down to business. So Smart Biz IT, really, in looking at your website and talking to you offline beforehand, the specialty for you is compliance. So I am a small business owner. I'm a solopreneur. I own my own podcast production agency. Explain compliance to me, just top level, like I'm a kindergartner. What do I need to know?
Absolutely. Compliance is just proving that you are protecting your customers and your business. So it's really about the small habits, showing that you have strong logins, have backups and make sure those backups are tested, making sure that your staff is trained on those phishing emails that come through and those sorts of things, and then make sure that you have clear and documented policies. So that's really kind of compliance in a nutshell.
So again, I'm just going to use myself as an example. So that would be, for me, I'm dealing with large audio and video files from my clients. So making sure those files are protected, making sure they're backed up, that sort of thing. And then, like you said, government contracts, that's a whole other ball of wax. That's a whole thing of following their specifics. If you're working in medicine, you've got HIPAA stuff. Like there's definitely specific compliance things for specific industries. But right now we're just kind of looking generally.
Yeah, so general. So there's things for specific industries, and I don't want to bog people down too much with going on to the weeds of that. But it could even be from a business like yours that has insurance, and you need to be able to prove to your insurance providers that you're doing your due diligence to mitigate those cybersecurity risks and making sure that your data is protected, making sure that your client's data is protected and secure.
You had mentioned to me that small companies are being asked to show proof they're protecting customer data. How would I prove that?
So you would need to be able to prove that through documentation and showing that you have the right things in place. Now, each requirement can be slightly different depending on if you're going for government contractors or other things like that, not to get too much in the weeds of that. But from a compliance standpoint, you need to be able to prove that and document that you have cybersecurity in place, that you have these policies that your employees are following, that you have these backups. And then that's where we come into place to be able to make sure that we come in, assess where you're at, understand the gaps in your current policies, develop those documents, make sure that you have the right cybersecurity in place, make sure you have the right IT, the right backup and disaster recovery in case something happens. That way we can restore your data and just make sure everything's protected. I kind of look at it as, protecting your house. You want to make sure that your doors are locked, your windows are locked, make sure that you have the right smoke detectors in the right places, make sure that the batteries are changed every 6 months, all of that just to make sure that you're doing your due diligence to make sure that you're protected.
It's so funny you use that analogy because I had a carbon monoxide detector die over the weekend. The beeping was out of control. It was scaring the dog. And while I panicked, it was like a bomb. I threw it in my mailbox just to get it away to get the beeping stop until I could Google how to make it stop. So it's so funny you actually use that specific analogy. You kind of alluded to some of this, Shawn, but what are some of the common mistakes when you go in and work with a business you see small businesses make?
I'd say one of the biggest things that I see that small businesses have is first, just not even have any policies or procedures in place, not have anything documented. So I would ask them, okay, well, what is your policies for if there's an incident and you're hacked? Or what is your policies if an employee gets locked out of their account or you lose data and you need to have it recovered? If you don't have policies in place when these situations happen, then you won't know what to do. So making sure that you have documented policies in place. And then there's simple things you can do, like, for example, MFA, multi-factor authentication. Those little text messages you get after you log into somewhere, they send a text message to your phone for that code. Mm-hmm. That's one specific thing that's very critical that can help prevent a lot of those cyber attacks, is just by making sure that you have those in place. So that way, even if someone does get your password, they can't log in unless they actually have your phone and your text message access.
I'm gonna say it. I know I hate multi-factor authentication. It's a pain. It's one extra step, but you're right. It is so critically important. Even I was looking at I won't say which one, but one of my sports betting apps, because they're everywhere now with the football season starting. And now it says, all right, we're going to send you a code every time you try to log in. And I'm like, really, guys? But again, I'd rather have my stuff protected and deal with an extra 10 seconds of mild annoyance to not have, my bank account or my PayPal or something, hacked.
Exactly. That's one of the key things is it might take you an extra, 5 seconds to do that, but that's worth, like you said, protecting your business accounts, your bank accounts, because I've seen some horror stories out there of businesses getting hacked and losing everything. So you want those extra 5 seconds to make sure that you have that security in place is critical.
Well, let me follow up on that without mentioning any names, obviously. What are some of these horror stories that you've seen in working with businesses? Can you give me one or two?
Yeah, so actually I'm working with a client right now in manufacturing. They reached out to me. They got hit hard. They got hit with ransomware. They came in, they have 2 facilities here in Michigan. They came in to have both of the printers, the entire rung of paper printed out, thousands of pieces of paper saying that you've been hacked, ransomware. They hacked and deleted their entire database of customers.
Oh my gosh.
All gone. Every single thing is completely gone. Their emails have been completely hacked and wiped out. They can't even get access to their website. So we're really having to go in and unfortunately start fresh because this client didn't have any backups prior to this. So there's nothing to be able to restore from. So this right here is costing them just not even the loss of labor, the actual cost of getting this set up, going through this, costing them well over $1 million to get back to where they need to be.
That is scary. Let me ask you on ransomware. Does it depend on the situation? I feel like the 2 ways to go are try and get around it and beat the system, or just pay the ransom. Is it sometimes the only option to pay the ransom?
I would always defer to your local authorities for this, but my opinion on this is I don't ever recommend paying the ransom, because at that point you're trusting a thief that just stole from you not to steal from you again. Yeah. They're already blackmailing you with something that they stole. And I've seen stories where people have paid the ransom and they're like, oh, we're just going to take the money that you paid us and still keep the data. So there's no guarantee that you're going to get the data back because you can't trust a thief. So it really depends on specific situations. And you also need to get the authorities involved, because depending on where these hackers reside, they could look at it as kind of terrorists or other things that are trying to get involved. So sometimes the government won't even allow you to pay these individuals. So you definitely need to get your local authorities involved, get their opinion of your insurance company as well. But my thought is never to pay the ransom, to make sure that you have the right things in place to begin with. For example, for this client, if they would have had, for example, our backup recovery in place, we could have basically told those hackers, like, you know what? We have the data that we can restore immediately, and we can have the client back up and running here within 12 hours or less, and have them back up on their feet. Also making sure that you have the security in place to make sure if someone does hack your system, that data is encrypted. So that way, even if they do hack it, they don't actually have the customer data that they can visually be able to see. For example, social security numbers, employee information, bank accounts, things along those lines.
All that PII, that personally identifiable information.
Absolutely.
Let me switch gears because I want to clarify here. So with Smart Biz IT, are you full service IT or do you specialize only in the compliance piece of it?
So we are full service IT. So we do everything from help desks, IT support, cybersecurity, cloud backup, really managing all of your IT. But we really look at it from a compliance and audit lens, because one of the big things here is a lot of businesses look at IT as just a necessary evil, like a cost to their business.
Yeah.
I really want to be able to kind of flip that on its head and be able to look at it. If you have the right compliance and IT in place, that opens you up to be able to get additional fundraising, grants. It opens you up to larger enterprise deals and government contracts that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get if you didn't have that compliance in place. So it actually turns it from a cost to a revenue driver.
That's a really important piece. It's spend money to make the money thing. You're not going to get these big contracts, these big grants, unless you have proof of these systems protecting you in place. You're not getting some big contract if your stuff's not protected. That makes total sense.
Exactly. And then if you're looking for fundraising, if you're a growth startup and you're looking at your Series A or B, investors aren't going to invest money in you if you can't prove that you're protecting your data in the business. So those are key things. And those are a lot of the customers that we work with that are starting to grow somewhere in between the 10 to about, I'd say, 200 size range, but that are really starting to grow. You're looking to get funding and they realize, oh, I really was looking for this deal, but they're now asking for me to have, for example, SOC 2 or CMMC, not to get too much in the weeds, but those are two different requirements that you need. And that, oh, well, we have this deal on the table. What do we do? For example, I'm working with another client right now that just reached out to me. They have a large 7-figure deal on the table, but they don't have their SOC 2 and compliance in place. So now I'm working with them to get this in place so that way they can get their what's called attestation within the next 3 months. That way they can secure this deal by 2026 to be able to start moving forward. So these are key things that are revenue drivers that will allow people to, otherwise you'd be missing out on these opportunities.
Makes sense. I'm curious now about your background. How did you get into this whole world, Shawn?
So I've been in the IT space here for about 15 years. Prior to starting this, I was a senior tech leader at Amazon for several years. And prior to that, worked in Ford and the IT space and wound up making the transition here and wanted to build something on my own and was really kind of studying the market, kind of see how I can really be able to assist and realize that there was a gap here for compliance related IT services. There are a lot of IT companies out there, granted, but there's not a lot of IT companies that really focus on the compliance and making sure that these businesses are ready to be able to meet those requirements so they can get those larger deals or those fundraising. So I want to kind of look at it from that lens of, okay, we're just not a cost for you to just operate so that way your computers work, but we're something that allows you to drive in additional revenue.
I love that piece of it because so many of us in the chamber have done this thing where we've gone out on our own, or we've started our own business and saw sort of a gap or a need in the marketplace. I know it's true of me. I know it's true of Lisa as a business owner. I know it's true of so many of our chambers. What's your experience been like with the chamber? You're pretty new, right, to the chamber?
Yeah, so I joined the chamber, I believe it was back in May. But it's been a great experience. I've met tons of great people there. Christine's been great. I've met tons of great people that have been connected. The first networking group, I've had a chance to be able to speak with them about some cybersecurity and give them some tips on how they can be able to protect their business, and just connecting with great people in the chamber just to be able to kind of grow and network. I've met some other great IT professionals on here as well. So yeah, I just really love the chamber. I think it was a great move for us to be able to join the chamber, and I'm excited to what's to come.
You referenced Network First. They meet on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 7:30 a.m. at the Chamber. I want to give Jill and Michelle a plug because they do great work with the Chamber. Shawn would change things up if you don't mind and ask you our fishbowl question of the day. We pull a totally random question to ask you. So today's random question is, what is your favorite day of the year?
Favorite day of the year.
I've got a couple guesses for you, but I'll let you answer.
I think you probably know where I'm going with this. It's opening football Sunday. I mean, I'm a huge NFL fan, so yesterday was my Christmas for me. Essentially, it was our first NFL Sunday of the year. Fortunately, I didn't get the gift that I wanted of the Lions win.
Yeah, Lions fans got cold yesterday, but that's okay.
Yeah. I won't go down that path here, but just in general here, I love football because I've been watching football my entire life growing up. I played it back in the day. So it's my favorite time of the year, getting together with some of my friends. We've got a fantasy football league that's 16 years going.
Nice.
So it's just my favorite day of the year.
You played football, high school, college, Pop Warner, like what level?
Just high school. I wasn't anything special, but I played tight end, wide receiver, and a little bit of safety back in the day.
Where'd you go to high school?
Anchor Bay High School.
Nice.
Yeah, it was way out on the east side over there in New Baltimore.
Yep. I think I helped do a prom there or a homecoming there one night DJing it. So yeah, I've been up that way. It's funny. I saw someone post this the other day that when we're in school, we're brainwashed for summer to be our favorite season because we get off of school and we don't have to be in school. But it's hot. It's sweaty. The cool weather rolls in. I got a hoodie on right now. The football starts. You know, you're smoking meats and cheeses and everything. I went out and I got wings for a Sunday afternoon. I got my Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which is my favorite beer. Like, there's something about fall, and I think I finally have come to the conclusion that fall is my favorite season and not summer.
Exactly. I was in the same boat before too. I was used to think summer was the favorite, but yeah, it's hot. It's like I don't want to necessarily be outside in 95-degree weather, but the fall is like perfect. It's not too hot, not too cold. Like you said, it's football season. Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Again, I could talk to you for hours about football and smoking meats. But before I let you go, Shawn, give me your contact information. What are the best way for our listeners to reach out to you at SmartBiz IT if they want help with compliance or anything IT related?
So yeah, smartbizit.com. On there, there's a free page where you can be able to book a consultation for us free of charge. So be able to connect with me, get on my calendar. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. My phone number is 248-206-9100. So if you want to call me directly, I'm here to be able to support you in any type of compliance or IT needs you may have.
Great. All your information is going to be in the show notes as well. Shawn, welcome to the Chamber, and thanks for coming on with us today. This was a really great conversation.
All right, I definitely appreciate it here, John.
I am John Gay, recently rebranded from Jag in Detroit Podcast to Jag Podcast Productions. You can find me at jagpodcastproductions.com. I'll help you start a podcast, improve your podcast, audit your podcast, co-host your podcast like I'm doing right now, you name it. Also want to give a shout out to my co-host, Lisa Bibby. She's with Century 21 Northland. You can find her online at soldbylisab.com. We want to thank you for listening to this episode of the ROCC Pod. It is produced for the Royal Oak, Michigan Chamber of Commerce. For more information on the Chamber events, you can visit royaloakchamber.com. Thanks, Shawn.
Yeah, thank you.